Welcome back to Duckman Cycles and VW Garage. I'm your host, the Duckman. Behind me here we have rain. I tried to get outside to start finishing the 1956 Volkswagen Beetle gas tank that I've got in there, which you've been watching me work on, and I'm really getting sick and tired of working on that thing. I mean, I've spent a lot of days on it. You know, I haven't spent whole days on it. It's only been a couple hours each day, but it's been a lot of time and a lot more time than I wanted to spend. And I was just getting ready to open up the garage door to shoot the video, and it just started raining. Anyway, it didn't look that bad at first, like it wasn't going to rain all that long, but that gray cloudy area that you see over there started to grow and grow and grow and grow just in the last few minutes. And I just put the ducks out in the pool outside too. Well, anyway, as soon as it stops raining, we're going to get to work on this 1956 Beetle with that custom gas tank that I've built. I'm going to remind you that we have a contest up on Duckman Cycles and VW Garage Facebook page. Head on up to the Facebook page, add yourself to the group, look for the thread for the gas tank contest, and post how many gallons or liters that you think that thing is going to hold. The one who guesses the close without going over the top with doing the Price is Right rules, then you will be the winner of a $50 gift card. That's right, I'm putting out $50 of my own money in this contest. As always, if you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, pluck that little dingle belly that you see there in the corner, so that way you get updates every time I upload a new video. Please check out my other channels. Aside from Duckman Cycles and VW Garage, I've also got VV the Duck VV. I've also got Skeeter the Duck. If you don't like my social media that you see in the description of this video, and you don't like to contact me on that, and you'd rather just use email, you can email me directly, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. And I'm not going to post that down in the description down below here because spam bots will pick that up and they'll start emailing me all kinds of crap. So yes, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. Thanks for watching, you guys. Well, I've been waiting about the last 30 minutes, and the rain hasn't slowed at all. I'm starting to see the rivers starting to form in the street. But my gutter pipe, you can probably hear that, is doing a pretty good job of draining. And I ran it down into a pipe last summer which runs under the ground and comes out at the curb there. Which is why I have all this wonderful green growing over here now. That didn't used to happen because the gutter used to just wash all the dirt away. And this was just a big dead desert area. So that seems to be doing a pretty good job over there. I've also got one in the back. So this dead area on the side yard over here is starting to show some green stuff. I haven't been fertilizing it or anything, and it's not all grass. It's probably about, 75% weeds. But grass is starting to pop up through there, so it would be nice if that filled out. Doesn't have to, it's just more shit to cut. But I don't want to break out this gas tank because it doesn't have any paint on it yet. So I don't need to be getting it any wetter than I should have to. Well, let's go ahead and demonstrate some of the products that I'm going to be using. Right here on top of Eleanore, we've got a couple of the things that I'm using. I'm going to be using about a quart of this not vodka acetone to rinse out the inside of the tank. I'll shake it up real good and try to get out any of the crud that might be in there, and if there's any oil or anything left behind, it should break that free and make it easy for this stuff to stick. And this stuff, I've used this before. If you remember the KZ440 chopper that I built for my dad, this is actually the can that was used, and I think there's about 3/4 of a can left. So it doesn't use a whole lot, but it's easier to have a little excess when you dump it inside that tank because it flows better. So this is my red PZ drip, which does a good job. If you've never seen a Pussy Drip Red, it happens, usually about once a month. Usually it runs right out of our can. So anyway, we're going to be pouring some of this in the tank right after that is poured out. And the instructions actually do say to rinse it with acetone first, splash the last of it out. You don't even have to wait for it to dry, and they say pour this in immediately afterwards. So that was quite a surprise. Yeah, I actually read the instructions. How many of you actually do that? Always read the instructions, you guys. So anyway, the rain is just starting to slow down. That is good. So we'll give it a little bit. Maybe we'll go check on the ducks. They went out in the pool just before it started raining. There they are, hanging around outside. Where are you, ducks? I see the pool is starting to leak. It was filled to the brim, but it's got a small crack in the bottom of it, which sometimes will get a leaf or something over it and hold water. But no, even in this rain, it's lost a considerable amount of water. And I see Skeeter's not taking a bath anymore. That means she's tired of being hit by the rain. Yes, these ducks are so damn domesticated that they really don't appreciate the rain a whole lot. Well, anyway, I want to start right here. I wanted to get this filled up. I don't want to leave the sender in it because I didn't want to get it all goopy with the sealer that goes in there. But I do need to find a way to cover this up. So I started to sand away at it a little bit, and I cleaned it off with a little bit of acetone, and I found a little rusty spot over here that I'll have to address also with some acid and clean that up. This is some of the spots where the previous paint didn't want to come off, so there was a little bit of rust underneath it. So yeah, we'll treat that, but it doesn't matter. We're doing the inside of the tank today. And then I had a cork in it at one point, but the cork went bye-bye. The cleaner and the water and everything else just wasn't good for it. It was cheap, old, and rotten. Just like the women that I date. So anyway, I think that ought to get the bottom. Okay. Need to pour our acetone down in the tank. I hate them little stupid plastic rings that are on these caps. There's no kids here, so guess what? It's gone. Alright, that's plenty of not vodka acetone for me. Now we're going to need to shake it up real well. Now before I do any kind of tank shaking with fluid, I've always got my safety glasses on because I get splashed every single time. I don't care if it's just water, it gets me in the eyes, so we're not taking a risk. Acetone burns. Believe it or not, it's pretty much non-toxic though, but yeah, it burns. You can see in the bottom of the pan all of the debris that came out of the tank. A lot of welding junk. Doesn't look very oily though. But I did a pretty good job scrubbing out the inside of that, so might rinse it one more time just on principle. Let's do that. Gotta love that garbage truck. Now this stuff has such a stink to it. It's extremely overwhelming, and if you don't have adequate ventilation, it will, and I mean absolutely will, knock you on your ass. The last time I worked with this stuff, I couldn't believe just how strong it smelled. Let's see if I can get it in here without getting it everywhere. Not bad. Not bad at all. I didn't get any on the top of the tank. I figured for sure I was going to spill it. We've got that cord in there. We're going to go ahead and move this guy over to the grassy area outside in case it drips. I don't need red stains all over my driveway. A couple of red drops in the grass, though, isn't going to hurt anybody. So let's go ahead and get this thing moved. Alright, we're going to go ahead and try to cap this off at the top also. I want to be able to flip this thing upside down and get a coating all the way up into the top. Should have done what I did on the bottom. But Misa not so smart. Now this stuff pours like honey. It's probably a whole lot thinner than honey, but it's a lot thicker than water. So you have to tip it and let it sit. The idea is to let it flow. And it's probably more the consistency of a grocery store branded maple syrup. You know, that fake stuff that's made with high fructose corn syrup and water. Nothing too exciting in there. You don't want to shake it. You want to use kind of a rocking motion. I wonder if we're going to see any come out through any other pinholes that I didn't locate the other day. I might see the thing bleed a little bit. Not seeing any red. But as I said, this stuff is really thick. So even if there is a pinhole, it probably won't come through it. I can hear it trying to off-gas here. The tape is actually starting to swell up a little bit. And that stuff did a marvelous job inside my dad's gas tank. And I went with 2 coats on there. I'll probably do the same on this. So once I got this settled here and I'm happy with it, I'm going to dump it back in the can, let the thing sit for about an hour, and then we'll coat it a second time. And then hopefully by the weekend, we'll be ready to fill it up with water. And the funny thing about this stuff is you can't put a solvent like gasoline in it until it stops smelling. You also can't paint the tank until it stops smelling, because the chemicals that are in there, if they're still off-gassing, the stuff hasn't completely hardened yet. In my dad's tank, I did it in, let's say it was the month of December. So it was cool out, but it was, you know, Florida cool. I think I was outside wearing short sleeves, working on my dad's bike, and the stuff took more than a week to dry. In fact, I was so dissatisfied with how long it took to dry in the winter that I put the gas tank in my oven inside the house and set the temperature to 200 degrees. Just let it sit in there for about 30 minutes. I had all the fans on in the house, you know, trying to draw everything out. I put the animals outside just to not stink them out. Anyway, I think we're good. Now the idea with this stuff is that when you open this back up and you dump it back in the can, you're going to want to try to make sure that it doesn't pool up inside this tank. You don't want to have a pool of it, you just want a sticky layer. There goes my work phone again on my day off. Never fails. It's really rough being good at what you do, and then nobody leaves you alone. Get ready to dump this back in the can. Whew. Powerful, powerful smell. Here we go. Put that in a safe place. Figures. Right. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to seal up that can, and we're going to pull off the tape on the bottom, and that's going to be our drain port where all of the leftover red junk can go ahead and drip out. That's the only red spot that I see on the tank, and I don't know if that was from oozing through or if I just dripped or flicked it off my finger or something. But that is it. You can see all the flakes of junk that settled out of that acetone. So anyway, we're waiting for that stuff to dry, and as you can see the long red icicle that's forming there, that's not something that happened last winter. So apparently it's drying up a lot faster than I would have expected it to do here in the Florida summer. I mean, it might be really humid out right now, but I think the feels like temperature is 106 degrees out here. It's absolutely disgusting. So we're just going to let it continue doing its drippage. It's about to drop a turd. There it goes. Plop. We'll let it keep doing its thing. And the next thing that you're supposed to do is open up all ports. So I'm going to pop the cover back off of this because it needs that air circulation, because it has to off-gas all of that chemical so it can dry. What's happening? See, my neighbors love me. Peely, peely, peely. Let's see how far. Actually, it looks like it only soaked into one of the screw holes a little bit. Not too bad. Whew! Once I open that hole up, we got a real strong whiff of it again. Well, anyway, the other reason I wanted to put those screws into it was so that way the threads in here wouldn't get glued shut. And wow, I could actually feel the chemical coming out of it. It's cold. It is cold. It's one of them endothermic reactions. As it evaporates, it's actually a cooling sensation. I mean, it feels like it's probably about 60 degrees. Let me go get my laser gun. We're going to find out what the temperature of that is. You know, there's our ambient temperature. I can't believe it myself. 99.6. Oh yeah. Wow. 75. Yeah, the tank is actually cold to the touch. I don't think 79 is, nope, 73, 72, 71.6. I guess I was wrong at about 60 degrees, but it feels like I'm putting my hand in the refrigerator. Well, that's probably because of the lack of water, if you will. That chemical is probably displacing the humidity in there and it's making for cold air. It's definitely having an endothermic reaction as it dries. There's a little bit of Cody's lab science for you. So anyway, we're going to let this sucker sit. We don't want to let it dry too fast. If it dries too fast, the chemical has a tendency to bubble. And if you get all bubbles in it, then it's not effective at being a sealer. So we're going to let it sit. I might even move it into the sun. The sun is starting to come back out. As long as it doesn't get rained on again. The sky does look a little shitty in that direction, but we're all blue skies elsewhere. Figure it'd be a good idea to say that while this thing dries, don't bring this thing in your house, not even in your garage. Put it outside somewhere, get it good and covered in case it rains, but don't bring it in the house. This thing will off-gas, and it off-gases something fierce, and the gases are kind of heavy, so they're going to sit kind of close to the ground. And what that's going to do to you is poison the shit out of you, and if it manages to make its way over to a pilot like in your water heater or something, you might set your house on fire. And then I get to laugh at you. So yeah, don't bring these things inside. Neighbors are fighting again. Delmont's not here today, so let's do some redneck shit that'll make him proud. Not very dramatic, but that'll be an easy way to get rid of that acetone. So as always, if you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe. Please share these videos with your friends. Don't forget that I have other YouTube channels besides Duckman Cycles. I've also got VV the Duck VV. I've also got Skeeter the Duck. And if you head on over to Facebook, you can type in Duckman Cycles and VW Garage and you can find my Facebook group page. There'll be a discussion about this gas tank video. There'll be a discussion about every other video that I've uploaded, as well as Skeeter the Duck, other projects, or anything else that people share. So head on over to Facebook, search for Duckman Cycles and VW Garage, and add yourself to that group. Thank you very much, you guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, there's a gas tank contest. I'm going to be revealing the results as to how much this gas tank holds on August 1st. So you have through the weekend to go ahead and finish posting your guesses. There's a $50 gift card as a reward that's at stake. So get on up there, post your guess as fast as you can. Make sure you post it on the correct thread. If you post it in the wrong place, it's not going to count. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching. Appreciate it. See you next time.